Hello guys, Sendou here again. So today we can obviously do a patch review since it's a big day for this game, I'd say. So if you didn't know, patch 2.0 actually came out today, and this is the first major patch for Splatoon 2, and it's added quite a bit of new things to the game. And I'm just gonna go over different main points, both added features and balance changes, and kind of give my opinion on some of those, and then at the end just create patch like I did last time around. But just to start this off, I'm probably just gonna go the private pilot because I think this is something not many people talk about, but honestly, this is the kind of stuff that's, you know, adding up when you play the game more. So stage select is completely revamped. So it used to be like you have to like go left and right like you do with modes, but of course more and more stages it gets kind of hard to choose the stage you want, and probably like in the end there's gonna be 20 chases or something, so it's gonna be really annoying if you have to go like 19 times like this or 10 times like this. But now this time it's gonna be easier to select the map you want easily. And also, when playing random map, you can select which you don't wanna appearing in the random selection. So you can be like, yeah, this is disgusting, this is disgusting, and then you have 10 good maps to select from. Well, that's just example. Maybe you love more, maybe you love Ford. No judging here. But also, like when we scrim, it's gonna be very useful to be able to start off with well maps, and then okay, first random map was Nebel Canal, so now we random the next 11 maps, and then okay, it's Art Academy and so on and so on. So that's pretty nice to have. So yeah, I think this is definitely a very nice thing they put the game. Also, new gear. Okay, so in my opinion, Splatoon is a lot about just looking fresh, you know. Like you always gotta like look fresh. Like it's not okay if you don't look fresh. And I think that's why it's pretty fun to see them add more gear. So there's more like unique choices and so on. And yeah, that's pretty much all there is to say about that. Like it's really nice in my opinion, but it doesn't really necessarily change the game, just something a bit extra fun. And of course nice to see some of the gear from Splatoon 1 return. And hairstyles. And pants is kind of like the same thing. Yeah, you know, nice to have, but you know, just cosmetic stuff. Still, like I'm very much like in the process of figuring out like what kind of fresh stuff I want to make with my ink for different weapons. So that's always fun in my opinion. And I think I'm actually gonna go to Turf War when I go with the balance changes. I think these were the two big feature things I want to go over. But of course there's always balance changes that also change the game quite a bit. Also that's not Mini Splatling, so I'm gonna change that still before I go. New music. Well, it's not gonna be able to hear in this video, but personally, I'm a huge fan of the new tracks. Definitely go check them out if you can. And yeah, increasing max rank. Well, the big thing here is that you're able to get infinite amount of sea snails, right? Because that used to be a big problem in my opinion. Like I missed one Splatfest and now I'm like too poor with sea snails. So infinite rank basically means I can get at least some constant way of getting sea snails, so that's really nice. Alright, I think I'm gonna start getting over the balance changes. So pretty small adjustments to the special count. Most notably, Tri-Slosser is 190p for ink armor again. So Tri-Slosser got a surprisingly nice buff this patch. I was actually pretty impressed by them being able to do that. And the others are like less significant, like yeah, you know, Range Blaster takes 10 more points to charge up special now, and You know, same with Splatty Shot and stuff. Yeah, like it's small adjustments, not really a huge deal either way. Same with Splatbrella, like yeah, like Special was a big deal for that weapon, like getting Cloud very often, but again, like not a huge deal either way. So it's just something there. And yeah, overall there wasn't that many like changes to main weapons this time around, but there's a couple pretty interesting ones. First of all, you have the Jet Squelcher now with oh, I got played there with 40% of more shoot velocity basically. And if you don't know what this means means it's a bit easier to aim at moving targets because your bullets are moving faster. But yeah, I don't think it's gonna be enough to make Jet like a top tier choice, unfortunately. But still, you know, it's nice to have. And I think like they adjusted several weapons that like paint a bit better, but it's like whatever. Like it's just a small quality of life changes. It doesn't really change them like in big ways. Just, you know, something nice for if you like found it annoying how Luna inks the wall. So guess you're happy now. Trislosher, as mentioned before, already a pretty big change that you're able to charge ink armor faster. But also they returned the 62 damage that was nerfed in patch 1.3, I believe. And also make the attacking 10% faster. So they didn't bring back the range, but they made it like a bit more viable option for like kind of like an aggressor role in your team. So I think Trislosher is in a really good place now, like honestly. I think we're gonna be seeing it a lot more, but I don't think it's broken or anything, so I think those changes were really good. Tenta Missiles, yeah, they are. I think they definitely want that weapon being used more, and you can launch the shield faster and so on. I could see it like it's a bit gimmicky choice still, like it's a bit gimmick, but you know it's more of a choice now, I'd say. And yeah, who knows? Maybe some people will be able to showcase why that weapon deserves its place in meta. Toxic Mist. With Toxic Mist, I think they made the change they needed to make. So basically, with Toxic Mist now, I'm probably gonna show it in a second, but with Toxic Mist now, you're able to use it more often. Ink consumption is reduced, and delay before you can start recovering your ink after throwing one is reduced quite significantly. But as a return, the effect is 2 seconds less. So it just makes it a more of a viable choice to use together with your main weapon basically. So think about Blaster. You can actually maybe throw a Toxic Mist now and follow up with your main weapon usage. So if it takes a Blaster here, you know, it's more realistic for you to do plays like this, for example, where you first throw the Toxic Mist and then you go in. And yeah, like as you can see here, like if you watch my ink tank on my back now, it's pretty fast after you throw one and the ink starts recharging. So yeah, that's pretty nice change. I think we're gonna see more Toxic Mist. I think it's still a good special for sub weapon for 2's and Rainmaker, so I believe we're gonna be able to see more of it. Burst Bombs. Well, the Burst Bomb nerf is basically introducing more of a gear tax if you wanna do like a triple Burst Bomb gear. So, you know, that's something like Splatty Shots really liked running, so they can throw 3 Burst Bombs. So now you either have to deal with 2 Burst Bombs or you have to use more inks have a sub, and I think this is reasonable, honestly. Like, I think this is reasonable change. Inkjet, well, this is something I really wanted them to buff, and I'm glad they were able to do it. So the English patch notes actually didn't translate the secondary effect for whatever reason, but basically when you use Inkjet, you're harder to shoot down, and also the shots go a bit faster, which of course makes aiming easier, which is both pretty nice buffs. And I'm like happy to see Inkjet being buffed. It's one of the more interesting specials in the game, and it was quite sad to see it in such a bad shape in the last patch. Stingray. Well, I made a whole video of how to nerf Stingray and didn't really take my suggestions, but it's okay. Like, I think it's pretty reasonable what they did. So if you don't know, not a lot. It wasn't just basically the weapon chase that they mentioned. Because when you go to, if you Control F Stingray in the patch notes, you'll notice that they decrease the duration by 15 frames, which is basically almost nothing. It's just one sub of special power up, and I don't think it's like a huge change anyway. Like if you see me use Stingray here, you probably won't be able to even notice it. Like it's just like a quarter of a second, not like a huge deal. But the bigger change to Stingray really is that now, when you use Stingray and you hit someone, they start recharging their health 1 second faster. And of course this is also nerfed to all kind of cheap damage in the game. But especially for Stingray, when you have people like escaping for their lives and you are trying to aim at them with Stingray, well, they start recharging their health half a second earlier. So of course that's gonna make those kind of kills harder to pull off with Stingray. I think this is interesting to see how it plays out. So I think overall I'm still gonna wait and see with Stingray how it is in this patch. Inkstorm. Inkstorm is kinda interesting. Like I was suspecting they might wanna nerf it because Prella was so strong and so on and so on and so on. But Inkstorm, basically they translate it as inks the ground by roughly 20% less, or reduce the frequency of how it inks the ground. And yeah, I think it's a reasonable change, honestly. Like it was a bit on the stronger side, and you can see like the inking pattern now is maybe a bit less, you know, hard to notice, but it's barely anything, you know, around this part anymore. Let me test the average cheat this, but you can see like, well, maybe if you remember exactly how the rain cloud pattern was in the previous patch, but you know, I don't know if you would say like it's a big nerf, but it's like a significant one. Like you can feel it when you actually use rain cloud in games, but I think it's a reasonable one. And I don't think they went wrong by doing it. And yeah, I think that's about all the changes I want to talk about. I also played the new Salmoran map, and yeah, it's a Salmoran map. I mean, I guess the gimmick for the stage is pretty funny, where you have to use the ferries to go across when there's high tide. But yeah, it's just new Salmoran map, not much to say there. Let's see if I can use Anchap to create this patch. Okay, let's see. Oh, the spatter is quite wide, and if this is gonna work out. It looks fine. I don't know if I have space though. Well, let's try our best. Does it look 4 out of 5? Yeah, it does. 4 out of 5, so 4 out of 5, so basically a lot of changes that I would have done on my own, like nothing mind-blowing, but still bringing the game the right direction. The game is more balanced after the patch, I think, and I'm very excited to try out different things. Like this wasn't like a huge balance patch where everything changes, but I don't think the game currently needed something like that, so it's definitely a step in the right direction, and I'm excited to see how it plays out in this patch. And that's about it for the video this time. Hope you guys enjoyed, and let me know how you feel about the new patch, and see you next time.